Suarez, a 2016 Olympian, turned professional in 2019 and has made up for his late start in the pros, fighting 5 times in 2022 against solid competition. He stopped Indonesian D-Fry Palulu in 2 rounds on December in Vietnam. The Paul Fleming fight was his second straight fight abroad, winning a 12-round TKO, claiming 4 titles. Suarez, together with Chavit Singson, signed a contract with Top Rank Inc. on July 1, 2023, in preparation for the fight against Johan La Fiera Vasquez of the Dominican Republic on August 26, 2023, at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Tulsa, Oklahoma, USA. Charly Suarez bests Johan Vasquez by unanimous decision and still remain undefeated. The scores were 98-92, 98-92, and 97-93. Suarez was scheduled to face Andres Cortes in Glendale, AZ on September 20, 2024. On September 12, 2024, it was reported that Cortes withdrew due to injury and was replaced by Jorge Castaneda, WBO Super Featherweight Championship. Suarez versus Navarrete. On March 20, 2025, it was reported that Suarez would challenge Emmanuel Navarrete for his WBO Super Featherweight title in San Diego, CA on May 10th. On March 25, 2025, the fight was confirmed. Charly Suarez and his team are already sounding like winners a little over a month before the shot at the World Boxing Organization WBO Super Featherweight crown in the United States. From the fighter to his chief trainer Delfin Boholst, chief handler Luis Chavit Singson, and camp coordinator Ricky Navalta, everyone is speaking the language of victory. Suarez challenges defending champion Emmanuel Vaquero Navarrete of Mexico on the 10th of May at the Pachanga Arena in San Diego, California. I am training long and hard for this. Won't let this slip away. I'm going to take it, Suarez said during Tuesday's Philippine Sports Writers Association Forum at the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex that was graced by Philippine Sports Commission chairperson Richard Bachman. The heavy underdog in the scheduled 12-rounder, Suarez swears the Navarrete fight will pave the way for a series of big bouts. I am not going to allow this to be my last big fight, added Suarez, who will be gunning for his first crack at a world title at 36 years of age. The 30-year Navarrete's resume is packed wins over big names. He has a 39-2-1 win-loss draw card with 32 knockouts and stopped all his 4 Filipino foes, including 2 in World Championship matches. But Singson has faith and confidence that Suarez, unbeaten in 18 fights with 10 knockouts, can get the job done. Charly has been studying Navarrete ever since. I am very confident he's got a big chance, said Singson, who has promised Suarez of a hefty cash reward if he returns home holding Navarrete's head. Boholst is also oozing with optimism that Suarez, his longtime buddy when they were still amateurs, has more than what it takes to stun the boxing world next month. I believe that Navarrete is going to get hurt once he gets a taste of Charly's punches, Boholst said, citing Navarrete's willingness to get hit, as well as his being knocked down by Liam Wilson of Australia in 2023. Hear a little about the champ he will be facing. Emmanuel Navarrete Martinez, born 17th of January 1995, is a Mexican professional boxer. He is a 3-division world champion, having held the WBO junior featherweight title from 2018 to 2020, the WBO featherweight title from 2020 to 2023, and the WBO junior lightweight title since February 2023. As of December 2023, he is ranked as the world's #1 active super featherweight by ESPN1 and BoxRec and #1 by the Transnational Boxing Rankings Board. Navarrete made his professional debut against Mizel Ramirez on the 18th of February 2012. He won the fight by a first-round technical knockout. Navarrete amassed a 25-1 record during the next 6 years, winning all but 3 of those fights by way of stoppage. Super Bantamweight. Navarrete versus Dogbue. It was announced on the 17th of October 2018 that Navarrete would challenge the reigning WBO junior featherweight champion Isaac Dogbo in what was Dogbo's second title defense. The bout was scheduled for the undercard of 8th of December 2018 top-ranked card, headlined by a unified lightweight title fight between Vasyl Lomachenko and Jose Pedraza. The event took place at the Hulu Theater in New York City and was broadcast by ESPN in the Americas and by VITV in Dogbo's native Ghana. Navarrete entered the first title bout of his career as a significant underdog, with most odds makers having him a plus 500 underdog, while Dogbo was seen as an 800 favorite, 8. Despite this, Navarrete won the fight by unanimous decision. Two of the judges scored the fight 116 to 112 for him, while the third judge scored it 150-113 in his favor. Dogbo dropped Navarrete with a right hand in the 9th round, but no knockdown was called, as referee Benji S. Davis Jr. deemed it an illegal punch. The fight ended with Navarrete having landed 221 to 176 and thrown 804 to 686 more punches than Dogbo. Navarrete vs. Dogbo still. The pair was scheduled to fight an immediate rematch on the 11th of May 2019 at the Convention Center in Tucson, Arizona. The rematch headlined a top-ranked card, broadcast by ESPN. Navarrete was more convincing in their second meeting, winning the fight by a later 12th round technical knockout. He was in control from the beginning of the fight, keeping Dogbo at range with jabs and accumulating damage with straight punches. Navarrete began to dominate from the 9th round onward, with the former champion visibly flagging. Dogbo's father and coach finally threw in the towel in the final minute of the last round. Navarrete landed almost 3 times as many strikes as Dogbo, outlanding the Ghanaian 314 to 121 in total punches. Navarrete vs. Vaca. Navarrete vs. Elorde. 5 days after Navarrete made his second title defense, top-ranked Vice President Carl Moretti confirmed that Navarrete would make his third title defense against the number 2-ranked WBO junior featherweight Juan Miguel Elorde. The fight was booked for the undercard of the Tyson Fury and Otto Wallin heavyweight bout, which took place on 14 September 2019, just 28 days after Navarrete's previous fight. The fight was broadcast on BT Sport and ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Navarrete came into the fight as a minus 3,000 favorite. Navarrete won the fight by a 4th round technical knockout. He first knocked Elorde down in the 3rd round before stopping him with a flurry of punches a round later. Navarrete vs. Horta. Navarrete was booked to make his 4th title WBO junior featherweight title defense against Francisco Horta in his 4th fight of the year. The fight was scheduled as for the undercard of an ESPN broadcast top-ranked card which took place on the 7th of December 2019 at the Auditorio GNP Seguros in Puebla, Mexico. It was Navarrete's first title fight in his native Mexico. Navarrete won the fight by a 4th round technical knockout. After a slow start, Navarrete began catching Horta with looping punches, finally stopping his opponent at the 2:09-minute mark of the 4th round. Navarrete vs. Santissima. On the 30th of January 2020, it was announced that Navarrete would make the 5th defense of his title against Gio Santissima. The fight was booked for the Deontay Wilder vs. Tyson Fury 2 pay-per-view undercard, which took place at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Paradise, Nevada on the 22nd of February 2020. Navarrete once again justified his role as the favorite, winning the fight by an 11th round stoppage. Navarrete appeared to be unusually slow and fatigued throughout the bout, but still managed to stagger the Filipino challenger in the 5th round before stopping him with a barrage of punches at the 2:20-minute mark of the 11th round. Navarrete claimed that he had suffered a right thumb injury during the post-fight interview, saying, "I hurt him weirdly with my right hand and hurt my thumb, but I had to plow through it." Featherweight. Navarrete vs. Villa. Navarrete accepted a fight at featherweight against Uriel Lopez on the 20th of June 2020 for his next bout. He won the fight by a 6th round technical knockout. He dominated his opponent, outlanding him 190 to 49 in total punches and 150 to 38 in power punches. Following this victory, Navarrete claimed he would vacate his junior featherweight title in the post-fight interview should the other champions refuse to face him in a title unification bout. Navarrete officially vacated the WBO junior featherweight title on the 12th of July 2020 and moved up to featherweight. Due to the rules of the sanctioning body, he immediately became the mandatory challenger for the vacant WBO featherweight title. the WBO ordered their number 2 ranked featherweight contender Jesse Magdaleno to face mandatory challenger and number 1 ranked contender Navarrete for the vacant title. As the two camps were unable to come to terms regarding the bout, the WBO ordered a purse bid to be held, which was won by Top Rank with a bid of $250,000. Although the fight was initially expected to take place in October of the same year, the idea was later scrapped as Magdaleno failed to respond to a Top Rank contract offer, unsatisfied with the proposed purse. As such, the next highest-ranked contender, Ruben Villa, accepted the fight instead. The fight for the vacant belt between Navarrete and Villa was booked as the main event of a 9th of October 2020 ESPN broadcast card. Navarrete won the fight by unanimous decision, slightly edging Villa on the strength of 2 knockdowns. He first knocked Villa down with a left uppercut near the end of the first round, while the second knockdown was the result of a left hook in the 4th round. 2 of the judges scored the fight 142-112 in his favor, while the third judge awarded him a 115-111 scorecard. Navarrete landed 163 to Villa's 131 total punches, while the difference in power punches landed was far more pronounced, with Navarrete landing 131 to Villa's 58. During the post-fight interview, Navarrete called for a title unification bout with the IBF featherweight champion Josh Warrington. Navarrete vs. Diaz. Navarrete was booked to make his first WBO featherweight title defense against the one-time WBO junior lightweight title challenger Christopher Diaz. The fight was scheduled as the main event of an ESPN card that took place on 24 April 2021 at the Silver Spurs Arena in Kissimmee, Florida. Just as in all of his previous title defenses, Navarrete was seen as the favorite to retain, with most odds makers having him as a 900 favorite. In front of a crowd of 3,262 people, Navarrete won the fight by a late 12th round technical knockout. He managed to knock Diaz a total of 4 times throughout the bout, with the final knockdown prompting both his cornermen and the referee to stop the fight. Navarrete landed 257 to Diaz's 183 total punches, with 241 of those being power punches. Navarrete vs. Gonzalez. On the 27th of April 2021, just 3 days after his first title defense, it was revealed that Navarrete was in talks to face mandatory challenger Joet Gonzalez. Gonzalez had earned his mandatory status by beating the 3-time world title challenger Miguel Marriaga. The fight was officially announced for the even headliner of a 15th October 2021 ESPN broadcast card, which took place at Pechanga Arena in San Diego, California. Navarrete retained the title by unanimous decision. 2 of the judges scored the fight 116-112 for Navarrete, while the third judge scored it 118-110 in his favor. Navarrete landed 100 punches over what Gonzalez landed, 272-169, and about 50 more power punches, 204-150. He threw 979 punches throughout the 12-round bout, averaging 81.6 punches per round. Navarrete vs. Baez. On the 29th of June 2022, it was announced that Navarrete would make his 3rd title defense against the number 7 ranked WBO featherweight Eduardo Baez. The bout was scheduled as the main event of an ESPN broadcast card, which took place at Pechanga Arena in San Diego, California on the 20th of August 2022. Navarrete overcame a slow start to win the bout by a 6th round knockout. He hit Baez with a left hook to the body in the first minute of the 6th round, which led to his opponent taking a knee and being counted out at the 1-minute mark. Navarrete was down on the scorecards at the time of the stoppage, with 2 judges having Baez ahead 50-45 and 48-47, while the third judge had Navarrete leading 49-46. He floated the idea of moving up to super featherweight in his post-fight speech, stating, "I'm going to rest because we had a difficult and hard camp. We're going to sit down and talk about if those options include fighting at 126 or 130 pounds. The fight averaged an audience of 485,000 viewers and peaked at 494,000. Super featherweight. Navarrete vs. Wilson. On the 9th of November 2022, the WBO formally ordered Navarrete to face the 2-weight world champion Oscar Valdez for the vacant WBO Junior Lightweight Championship. He wasn't stripped of his featherweight title, however, as he was granted a one-fight exception to move up in weight. The vacant title bout was scheduled as the main event of an ESPN broadcast card, which took place at the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona on the 3rd of February 2023. Valdez withdrew from the fight on the 13th of December. Navarrete was instead rebooked to face the once-defeated Liam Wilson for the vacant title. Navarrete was knocked down in the 4th round, but was given a long count. Navarrete was then able to rally back and win the fight by a 9th-round technical knockout. Navarrete vacated his WBO featherweight title on the 9th of February 2023.
Navarrete vs. Valdez.
Navarrete successfully defended his WBO junior lightweight title defense against the former 2-weight world champion Oscar Valdez on the 12th of August 2023 at the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona. He won the fight by unanimous decision, with the scorecards reading 119-109, 108-10, and 116-112. Navarrete outlanded Valdez 216-140 in total punches, as well as 176-114 in power punches. An average of 808,000 viewers watched the main event, with a peak audience of 884,000.
Navarrete vs. Conceição.
Navarrete submitted a formal request to be promoted to Super Champion status to the WBO on 15th of September 2023. Later that same day, it was announced that Navarrete would make his second WBO Junior Lightweight Championship defense against the 2-time world title challenger Robson Conceição on the 16th of November 2023. Navarrete was officially promoted to Super Champion status on the 22nd of September. Navarrete retained the title by a majority decision draw. 2 of the judges scored the fight an even 113-113, while the third had it 114-112 for the champion. Navarrete successfully underwent a minor left-hand surgery on the 2nd of December 2023 to repair an injury that was re-aggravated during the contest with Conceição. Lightweight.
Navarrete vs. Berinchyk.
Navarrete was scheduled to face Denis Berinchyk for the vacant WBO lightweight title at Pechanga Arena in San Diego, California on May 18, 2024. Navarrete lost the fight by split decision with the scores 115-113, 116-112, 112-116. Return to super featherweight.
Navarrete vs. Valdez Seguin.
In October 2024, Top Rank confirmed Navarrete would defend his WBO junior lightweight title against Oscar Valdez in a rematch at Footprint Center in Phoenix, AZ on December 7, 2024, where Navarrete won by KO in the 6th round.
Navarrete vs. Suarez.
On March 19, 2025, it was reported that Navarrete would make a 4th defense of his WBO title against their number 1 ranked undefeated Charly Suarez. The fight was scheduled to take place on May 10, 2025, airing live on ESPN at the Pechanga Arena in San Diego. On March 25, 2025, the fight was confirmed. That's a little about the champ Navarrete. Should be a good fight. I'm rooting for Charly. I think he can pull off the upset. Let's all be rooting for Charly. Until next time, please subscribe. Thanks for listening. Be good.